Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Streaming December 12th on Peacock. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie are back
That's hot. Loves it.
for a show-stopping reunion that will prove putting on an opera is anything but simple.
We're really good at this.
One thing's for sure, they won't be upstaged.
Good to have you back. Come on, we've got a show to do.
Paris and Nicole, The Encore, a 3-part reunion special, streaming December 12th, only on Peacock.
Let's hang out. Let's hang out. And let's talk about what Legends about. Let's hang out. And let's listen to two lesbians shout. Let's hang out. Let's hang out.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Hang Out. I'm Ellie Brigida.
And I'm Lee Holmes Foster, and here's what's happening this week.
This week in the Lesdom.
This Week in the Lesdom is a place where we can touch base each episode about things going on with the podcast or otherwise, and we want to thank all of our Indiegogo supporters for this week. We usually record our This Week in the Lesdom secret the Wednesday before, so as of now, we have 21 Indiegogo supporters, but I know that by the time this episode drops, we'll have even more, so thank you all. If you want to help support Journey to the Heart, you can do that at bit.ly/support Journey to the Heart. We have a matching campaign going on this week, so a few donors have pooled their donations to match up to $1,000. So if you're thinking, I'm going to wait to donate, this is the week to do it because it's going to help us with our matching campaign. So thank you to everyone who's donated so far. Even a share goes a long way. We really appreciate all of your support.
In the greater Les universe, we want to tell you about a new movie that's going to be coming out on Hulu soon. It's called Crush, and we are very excited because it's queer, it's written by Kristen King, and it's starring Rowan Blanchard and Ali'i Carvalho, and we've heard nothing but good rumors. We haven't seen it yet, although, like, if someone wants to hook us up with a screener,
Give us a screener.
We've heard a lot of people are super excited for it and have said nothing but good things. So that's coming our way, and we're very excited.
Also, I don't know if anyone ever played the video game Ratchet and Clank, but I just saw that Rivet has been confirmed to be a lesbian. So we love when we don't even have to do should have been gay because these people are confirmed as people is not really the right word.
Confirmed gay.
Creature, but Rivet is a lesbian. So there we go. Add another one to the tally.
Speaking of the gays keep winning, the other thing we are winning these days are Oscars. So I'm sure if anyone missed the Oscars, things happened. But one of the things that happened that we do want to talk about is Ariana DeBose won an award for, I think, Best Supporting, right? Best Supporting Actress for her role in West Side Story, and was the first out woman of color to do so. And so we just want to give her a big shout out. She gave a great speech about how important that award was and all of the people that she was representing. And we're just, we're happy for her, and we just love when the gays keep winning.
Love it. Also would want to say that her and Rita Moreno are two of the only people who have won Oscars for the same role.
Incredible.
Which is really cool. I love that.
So that's what's happening this week. Back to you, Ellie and Lee.
Thanks, Ellie and Lee, and welcome to our 81st installment of Should Have Been Gay.
Oh, it was fun, it was great, but it should have been a little more gay.
And in this week's episode, we don't talk about heteros. No. We don't talk about heteros.
We really don't. No
straight people in our podcast.
We just don't.
Ever. Not in our Should Have Been Gays. Come on. We've never met a straight person in a movie
yet.
There's
no way. And we are talking about Encanto today, and we are joined by a very, very special guest, Jessica Darrow, who stars as Luisa in the latest Disney animated film Encanto and is the performer of the Billboard Top 10 chart song Surface Pressure. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you here.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be here, you guys. What's up?
This is a dream come true. Since I saw this film, Leah and I both have been freaking out over it because it's an amazing movie. And then we were like, oh my God, it'd be amazing if we did a Should Have Been Gay. And now you're here to do it with us. Like, this is just like elevated to like so many levels.
It's our gayest dreams come true, honestly. Let's
so
be
many
real.
levels. Oh my God.
Too.
I'm so excited. I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy this episode. I know I am. So
Wow.
At least, like, I'm already enjoying it. We've been here for like 5 seconds. It's the best time we've ever had.
Listeners, we had an incredible conversation before we logged on.
Yeah, it was like 20 minutes freaking long. You guys will never know.
You'll never know what happened before this, but you can guess all of
all the best stuff.
You could probably guess, to be honest.
It was quite gay. That's all you need to know. So do we want to dive in, Lee?
You know, I always want to dive in with our IMDb synopsis for any poor, unfortunate soul who hasn't seen Encanto yet. A, what is wrong with you? And B, here's the synopsis. A Colombian teenage girl has to face the frustration of being the only member of her family without magical powers.
Good IMDb synopsis, but I feel like we can make it gayer.
Concise.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's to the point.
I mean, it is to the point because, you know, there's a lot of things that they want you to discover throughout the film. But yeah, that's basically, there is so much more.
There's so much more.
Yeah,
there's so much more. So, Jessica, since you are our guest of honor, do you want to start with your gay synopsis?
Oh my God, I'm so nervous. I kept thinking about this and I was like, okay, do I write it down? Because first of all, it took me forever to just get it was fun, it was great, but it's more gay out of my head so that I could just like focus on what I wanted to say. And it's still going on in my head, but okay, here I go. So, super colorful, fruity, queer house, magical house with magical fruity powers withholds super queer family that is not openly queer. However, every single member in this family is, aka their queerness is their superpower. They must use their queer superpowers to take care of their family and also uplift their community and make sure that they do not face the terrors that their queer magical ancestors faced in the past. They must live up to the super colorful, fruity, queer miracle that blessed their family to begin with and gave them this beautiful, magical, colorful rainbow opportunity. Also, everything in the film is rainbow, in case you're wondering if it could get any queerer. Also, the food is very queer because it's cheese and bread. And I don't know, that just feels queer to me. In Spanish, that's an arepa, a very notoriously queer food eaten by many queer Latinas, including myself.
I'm gonna die.
I can't. There's no finish it. There's honestly no coming after that. Yeah, finish it.
Yeah.
Finish it.
And the film ends with a beautiful queer musical number that is the most blatantly queer song besides the one sung by the most stereotypically blatantly queer character. And the family all comes together. And to be honest, we don't know if they live happily ever after, but at least they are all now openly queer together, which feels like a happily ever after for now. The end.
Wow.
I am gonna die. That was just listen. I have one hope and dream in my heart for life now, which is that somebody is gonna take that audio and turn it into like a movie trailer. Just like cut with scenes from the movie, like in a world full of gays.
About to say, as we in a world full of gays, full of Latino gays. The best kind.
Wow.
That
incredible.
Thanks, guys. I was so
amazing.
nervous, but then I just let it flow.
It flows so perfectly. I also would like to say we have lots of things to talk about because when you say the most stereotypically queer character in the film, I'm like, I think you're talking about Luisa, but I feel like there's a lot of
there's
stereotypically queer
so
characters
many. There's
in this
so
film.
many.
No,
So-
there really is, but it's honestly the reason why I say stereotypical is because I'm like, shit, why am I the only cast member that is being asked how I feel about Luisa's sexuality? Because hello, like y'all gay, and you know, it's like Isabella. That like I'd say she is probably.
Don't worry, we're gonna go through.
We're gonna get into that.
We'll go
we have
character
a list.
by character.
We have a list,
but you
'cause
are
we have
so
a lot
correct
to
about
say.
Isabella.
We have a lot to say.
Oh yes, okay. Wow, the looks on your faces.
Yeah, because it is a lot. It is a
Okay.
lot. I watched. Well, we can talk about our experience after this, but I watched the movie again from top to bottom today, and I was like, "Wow, this is
Mhm.
gonna be great, great episode."
Okay, wait. What's your
All right, so-
synopses?
I don't think. How do you follow that? Who
Oh my
can follow
God.
that?
You can't.
Stop!
You
Just
can't.
do it. I want to hear it.
All right, here's mine.
Go.
real
Okay,
quick.
do it. Do it.
So the queer family Madrigal are quite literally crushed under the expectations of a heteronormative society until they can finally come out, be themselves, and rebuild their little queer sanctuary. That's it.
Beautiful.
I did
How-
like when you said that there's rainbows everywhere, because
I
there
like
are
the-
rainbows
I like
everywhere.
the queer sanctuary. I love
Rainbows
that.
I like
everywhere.
queer sanctuary too, but yeah, there's literally rainbows everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like
everywhere.
the house, the house was being crushed because they were forced to be straight. And then
Yes.
they were like, all right, we got to destroy this straight house to
Yeah.
rebuild a queer one. That's what I saw.
That's gorgeous.
That's what I saw.
You're like, listen, that's what I saw. Okay,
That's what
I
I
can't say
saw.
what anyone else saw, but that's what I saw.
Mutual
I went-
aid, it was beautiful.
I went a slightly different direction with my gay synopsis.
I'm ready for it.
And my gay synopsis is, like in so many small towns in real life, the gay family is the most interesting source of all entertainment in the Encanto.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the movie. Like, does anything else? Does anybody else have anything going on? They're all just like, what's happening at the casita? Like,
Literally casita. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, what's going on at the casita? Because they have such basic, unmagical lives.
yeah.
That's so
The
true.
straights want to know what's happening with the gays as per usual.
All
That's
the
my gay
time.
synopsis.
Yes.
They also have the best parties. Like, it's like
Yes.
everyone's like, oh, got to go to the gay club tonight. And the gay
That's so
club
true.
is their house.
That is
Casitas
so.
happen.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Oh my God. These
Yeah,
are such
they know how to throw a party.
synopses.
They know how to
Yes.
throw a party. Yes. So, Jess, I'm curious, what was your experience with the film Encanto?
What's your experience with it? Yeah, tell us a little bit.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. Yeah. All right. What part of this experience?
Give us everyone knows your experience. Maybe give us like a quick overview of like, how did this happen? How did you get here? How did this happen?
Okay. No, I love sharing the story. So it really, it was like the movie. It was all magic. It's all felt like magic. But early 2020, we're going back in time. Boop boop boop. Early 2020. For those of you who may relate to this, I feel like you guys probably do. The experience of being an artist, an actor, some type of performer who's feeling some sort of like stagnant, no change, what's going on? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm being crushed by capitalism. How could I ever pursue art? Okay, maybe I'll try to go to LA. I had that moment in early 2020, and I travel there to go there. I'm actually in Brooklyn, in New York, and I went to go stay in LA for a month. I plan to stay there for the entire month of March. Sublet my apartment here. And my first day there, I get an audition that would normally be something that requires me to send just a regular, voice over MP3 over my phone, send it out into the ether, see what happens. But my voiceover agent actually was like, hey, this is actually for a Disney animated feature. I know you usually read for Revlon commercials, but if you'd like to
NBD,
if you'd like to go to Disney animation in person, you happen to be in LA, you could go ahead. So I was like, bet, I'll take the $50 Uber. So I'm doing nothing else here, trying to figure out my life. And so I go to Burbank, pull up, meet with Jamie Sparrow Roberts, who is the casting director on the film. And she's amazing. And we just had a super chill, casual conversation. And this was the first voiceover audition that I did not do in a booth. I was reading with someone in person, and she then was just chatting with me about my life. I sang "I'll Make a Man Out of You" from Mulan, because
great choice.
Yeah, I was like, this is very much Louisa, and but it was funny because I actually, in the description of Louisa, I knew that we had a lot in common because they just described her as like tough crybaby, like tough exterior, mushy gushy inside. And I was like, okay, that's me. Yeah, she just said, I feel like you are a great fit for this. You got a call back. I was like, sick. And then Panorama happened, and I went home in the middle of my trip to LA. But you know what? It's all good. It wasn't good at the time, but I go home to Miami, where I'm originally from. Thank God I had sun for those 4 months in my childhood bedroom. Otherwise, I would have gone insane. And I'm there for 4 months, completely put the audition out of my head. I didn't know if I'd be able to make art in the same way again, let alone ever again. I was just thinking about death. So I didn't really think about that. And then July came around, and I go back to New York. I get a call back. I have a Zoom session with the directors, Jared Bush and Byron Howard, who are amazing. They talked to me about their families. I talked about mine. I was like, whoa, this is the most I've ever talked about my family in an audition. And we kind of got into we talked about our family dynamics and the roles that we feel we play within them. And I could tell that this was, at first I thought that this was just going to be a movie about like Latino superheroes. So I was like, sick. But then in this audition, I was like, whoa, okay, this is about some family stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the moment when I put together, I was like, wow, I've never heard of a Disney movie like this. And then I heard that Lin-Manuel was attached to it, and I was like, you guys don't even know how perfect I am for this. You better pass me. And they almost forgot to ask me.
You're like, you just try and keep me from this part. You just try and stop me.
Try.
Yeah.
No, seriously. And, I'm so excited to talk to you guys because I have a musical theater background. And I feel like, we just have so much in common. But anyway,
let's all be best friends. We're in.
Let's all be besties. So literally,
yes.
like me and Lee both have like keyboards, and Ellie has guitars. Like
Ellie's is like just on the other side of the screen.
I have a keyboard on the other side of this. Yeah.
You guys. Okay. Anyway, I digress.
Best friend hangout when?
Best friend hangout when? Okay.
Lee, New York trip soon.
Okay. I'm in. Okay.
I'm just saying, but yeah. So
you just try and stop me, Ellie.
She woke up.
But yeah, so basically that happened, and then I found out that I booked the part October 2020, and I started recording from November until August 2021. I wrapped, and throughout that whole time, I was recording remotely. So I had no idea. I always knew that the film was special, but I had no idea that it would like transcend into something like this. And to be quite honest, I was really like hyper focused on Louisa's storyline and didn't know much of the turmoil that the other family members were facing personally throughout, like I'd say halfway through recording. And we're also recording on our own, like not with other cast members. So it's my first time doing this too. And it's not in person. I'm just working with a bunch of people in LA over Zoom. And, of course, anxiety is getting the best of me too. Sometimes I'm like, oh, is this it feels like your first big break, but is it actually going to be? You're doing it in New York over Zoom. Like, what does that mean? and just the awful voices in your head that try to make experiences smaller. But then as I was building Luisa's character, I surely was building mine, because I eventually, especially through the recording of Surface Pressure, I had to let myself give over and really go there emotionally and put myself into this character, because it called for it. Like, the lyrics are so devastating in that song. And I actually was focused on just like sounding right. And especially with my musical theater background and singing training, was always taught that my voice needed to sound a certain way. And, being pitch perfect was the most important thing. And I mean, growing up, I shout at myself for not being a soprano. And I was always like resenting my inability to access that like higher register. And I'm like, oh, will I ever be successful on Broadway? Will I ever? And now that's like not even my journey. It's not even my path. I love what I'm doing now instead. And to be honest, the parts that I would be playing on Broadway would be like inappropriately Mama Rose in Gypsy. Like at age 27, like, nah, I'm a wait till,
Listen, not to harp too much on like all of the stuff we have in common, but like as someone who is also not a soprano, like, can I tell you how fucking refreshing it is to have like a chart-topping Disney bop that I'm like, oh, I can sing these notes. Like, yeah. I can hit no, and not only that I can hit notes, but I'm like, oh, I get to like drop down and hit some notes that like you never get to like play in that range, like everything is always like, I'm a Disney princess up here.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's take it down like a couple steps just for funsies.
Well,
it's
pretty crazy.
Like, no, it's so much, it's like incredible to have like a fun, to have like the top song from this show be like an alto bop. I'm like, yes, please.
Aww,
more of this.
And that makes me feel so good to hear, because I mean, listen, when I first got the demo, it was a Lynn demo. And yes, I listened to it every night before I went to sleep because it was his voice. And, it's him doing his Lin-Manuel thing, and he's doing Surface Pressure,
Yes.
But he's doing it in his octave. So I'm over here like, they didn't specify.
I'm not saying you should drop that demo.
Yeah, I feel like that's like not yet.
Dude, that thing doesn't exist on my phone anymore. Disney got a way of making everything disappear when you don't need that anymore.
You're like, that phone got dropped to the bottom of the ocean after it was burned and run over by a truck. Like, I get it.
They actually sent me an Android with the demo on it, and then they crushed the Android. And
oh my God.
No, and that's me hating on Androids. I'm sorry.
Amazing.
Listen, if Android, if you want to sponsor me, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shit on your phone. But anyway, cut it. But yeah, so that demo really made me like, okay, you guys didn't specify that I'm not supposed to necessarily like sing in this octave, or that I'm supposed to do. I don't know, it's like key change here. They really were like, here's the demo. You teach yourself, like, do what you want to do with it. And we're going to have a recording session in 2 weeks and just see what happens. So I'm terrified. This was happening around Thanksgiving. So this is the time of year when I binge eat and drink to hide my depression. So I'm having to physically not do that, which is hard, but it's okay because I have this new beautiful thing in my life. So it was fine. But I was like, okay, all right, gonna take care of my body, gonna take care of my voice, because mind you, I hadn't sung in years. Like, singing is a thing of the past for me. I thought that I was going to go to a musical theater school
and the future.
And now,
the future.
Well, yeah, but there was a time for a while when I really, I auditioned for 8 musical theater schools and didn't get into any of them. I got into Rutgers, which was the one funny straight theater school. What a crazy term. Isn't that crazy when people say that?
Yeah.
Nonsense. Doesn't exist.
It's the thing. They're like, it's straight theater. I'm like, that's funny. Is the least straight theater. Anyway, but Yeah. So, and then I go to the school that doesn't like care about singing, but very much, cares about the voice. We had voice training, blah, blah, blah. But I just put it out of my head that I would ever be doing musicals or sing ever again. And then here I am doing this part that like encompasses everything from my childhood and also like my idols, like Lin-Manuel Miranda and my obsession with Disney. So I don't know. It was pretty wild, but here I am. Now I'm fast forward doing Surface Pressure in the booth for the first time. And my instinct is to just copy Lynn's mannerisms. So I'm over here like doing Surface Pressure and I'm kind of doing it like this. And oh my God, I don't want to fight Cerberus. Like, I feel like that still very much sounds like Lynn in the recording because like, y'all wanna fight Cerberus. Like that's exactly how he did it. And to be honest, I tried to veer away from that like super Lynn sound in the recording, but he kind of was pushing me towards it. And I said, okay, bet, say less. So I'll do that. And I did. And now we've got the version that we've got. And yeah, but I asked him, I was like,
someday I just want a cast recording release of everybody doing their best impression of the like,
demos that Lynn sent. Yeah.
Everyone do your best Lynn today and we'll release that.
So if someone's gonna hear this, gonna be like, damn, that's shady. But the thing is, I've like done it to his face. He's a great guy. He knows. But I mean, it's just his voice. It's like, he knows. I mean, he is the
It's so distinctive. I mean, come on. You can't have that distinctive of a voice and not know about it.
Yeah. Or like in Bruno's rap at the end in All of You, like that is a Hamilton flow straight up.
Yes.
Like he knows what he's doing. And that's the magic. He is the new Sondheim, but anyway, let me not go there right away. But so I'm over here being like, do I sing this in dude octave, which is technically still kind of my octave, or like what do you want? Because it's always been like, well, if you want to sound more girly, then you got to be higher. You got to use your head voice. You got to. And they're like, okay, so we actually want you to stay lower in the beginning, and we're actually going to make it higher in the like belty parts.
Yeah.
I was really scared, you guys. Like I had not exercised my vocal cords in this way in years. So I then worked with Pisha McPhee, who is the amazing Disney animation vocal coach and is also Catherine McPhee's mother.
Wow.
Oh, very cool.
You guys know who that is, right?
Yeah.
American Idol smash. Yes. Waitress. Okay.
Yes.
We know who Catherine McPhee is. My fangirl queer ass is like, okay, don't freak out. You're literally going to be taught by her mom. That's cool. And I literally did not mention a word about Catherine until our very last lesson. And I said, by the way, I love your daughter. And she's like,
wait.
Oh my God.
Sorry,
she's
not
like,
to
can you
like,
introduce
not
us?
to throw Ellie on the spot here, but like, isn't that? Don't you have a story when we were in New York? Was that Catherine McPhee or was that someone else?
No, it was Catherine Gallagher. Different Catherine.
Oh, okay, you're right. Sorry.
Different Catherine.
I got confused.
Okay, but I want to hear that story too. What the hell?
Oh my God. Okay, so we were in New York. We were doing a thing for the Flame, and we went to Marie's Crisis. Have you been to Marie's Crisis?
Of course,
I'm
the
sure.
one and only Cats Only.
Yeah. So we're at Marie's Crisis, and Catherine Gallagher walked in, and I was like, I know this is Catherine Gallagher, but I didn't want to make a big deal about it. So then we all just start singing, and then like at a certain point they started playing Wicked, and like Catherine Gallagher was next to me, and so then like I just started singing Wicked to her, and then she was singing back to me, and I was like, we are singing Wicked together, and this is Catherine Gallagher. Yes,
just chill.
Yeah,
just totally chill.
Okay, but was it for good?
I think it was Defying Gravity. So we were doing like the Glinda Alphaba part in Defying Gravity.
My heart.
It was insane.
Still.
And then I was like, I'm just gonna like play it as cool as I can. So I wasn't like, you're Catherine Gallagher. I was just like, oh, it's great singing with you. Everything's cool.
Everything's cool. See, and that's the thing. And especially in New York, you have to be like,
yes,
everyone is so chill here. Like if you see someone that on the street, you just got to be like, oh
yep,
whatever. It's cool.
It's totally
chill.
Cool. Yep.
No biggie.
I actually saw her on the street before we went into Marie's Crisis. Like I saw her, like I was getting like $1 slice of pizza, and she was at the pizza place, and I was like, that's Catherine Gallagher. And then I was like, I'm not going to say anything in the pizza place. And then I went to Marie's Crisis, and she was also there. So I was like, I'm glad I didn't say something weird to her in the
It was
pizza
meant to
place
be.
either.
It was meant to be. Exactly. Hey, anything that is meant for you, never going to pass you by.
Yep.
All right. And that is a fine example of that. All right.
It was a beautiful moment. But yeah, got to go to Marie's Crisis again. If
Oh
we go
my
to
God.
New York, Lee, me, you, and Jess are going to Marie's Crisis.
Okay. When we all meet up in New York for our bestie weekend, we'll go to Marie's Crisis. I'm in.
I
Yeah.
will
Sold.
say the last time I was there, I did not have the best experience. Mostly because I'm such a dummy and I was a fresh 21 years old. And I literally haven't been back since, which is crazy. I was a fresh 21 years old and I was just like drunk with my sister. And it was like one of my first times being drunk legally. So here I am like in this bar and the bartender just asked me for my ID, which is not that crazy and people do it all the time, but I decided to get like fresh with him. And I was like, oh, you want to see my ID? Just like dumb, arbitrary drunk confidence. Like alcohol's so stupid, you guys. Like, why do we even drink that? Like, I was like, oh, why? And he's like, he literally is looking at me like, you stupid bitch. Like, shut up. Give me your freaking ID or you're not going to get this Heineken from this mini fridge. Okay. So I showed it to him and it was fine. But I got so saucy with him. But
Listen,
they have your picture on the wall. They're like, do not let this person in.
After your first decade or so of getting carded, it just becomes really chill. Listen.
Yo, now I'm like, oh, please card me. Now I'm like, why didn't you card me?
Yeah, exactly.
I will be carded, I think, until I'm like 50. So I have a lot of practice.
You do have a beautiful baby face.
I look like I'm 16 and you gotta lean in, you know? Like, it's fine.
You say it so ironically.
fine.
You know you love having this face. It is, you
know
you
what?
do.
No, here's the thing. I would love having a face that looked 21. That would be cool. Having a face that legit looks like I'm 18 sometimes when I'm like in a professional environment and like need to be taken seriously. And I'm like, I promise I am not in high school. It works less well, actually. I would be okay with looking a little older.
Yeah.
One of these days, Lee. One of these days you will.
You feel like your haircut doesn't work for you? I feel like once I got an aggressive haircut, everything changed. Like people were like, I will listen.
I think the haircut does help, but not as much as I'd like to believe it should.
Sorry. I'm also just laughing at like where has this conversation devolved to?
We're all over the place. It's okay. It's okay.
There's so many things.
There's so many things.
We needed your whole life story first.
We did.
Yes.
We truly
that,
did.
So that is how I got here.
Yes.
Here in my Bushwick apartment.
I'm also dying because I feel like, because I know we're going to talk for the next 2 hours about how gay this movie is. I'm like, Ellie, if we need to like trim some of that down, I desperately want you to just make an edit where it's like, so tell us how you got here. And then you're like, well, I started in like early 2020 and that's how I got here.
Nothing else.
That's the part that we trim, and that's how I got here.
It would just, for me, I feel like it would sound ridiculous and insane, and it would make me laugh. That's all. Just send me
I'll
that
send
because
you
I
that
will
just
die.
for fun. But that whole thing,
sweet.
Just those two lines clipped together
Yeah.
would make me laugh.
I
Tremendously. That's all.
that whole
We're not
intro,
gonna cut the whole story.
That
everyone,
whole
don't
intro
worry.
is staying. Don't worry.
Y'all, you cut whatever you want, okay?
Real quick, Ellie, do you want to give your experience with the movie?
Yes.
As well. Just for good measure.
Super,
you know?
yeah, super quickly. I think I said I watched it again today. I had been told by Lee that I needed to watch this film, which was the correct thing for her to say to me because I watched it. So my girlfriend doesn't like, she likes very like intense.
Sad?
She likes sad things, but like intense, scary things. Like I feel like when she
sad, broody,
like
angsty, decades old or period piece lesbians.
Yeah. So when she hears Disney, she's like, like I don't want to watch. And I'm like, okay, fine. So she fell asleep and I put on Encanto and she's sleeping next to me and I'm bawling. Like just like crying so horrifically. Like
a state of existence that Ellie never finds herself in.
I'm always
honestly.
crying. I'm always crying. I cried again today watching it, of course. But I think I cried like
every time.
A little less, but I did cry I forget the moment that I really like hit my stride today was when Mirabel and Abuela are having their moment by the river.
By the river every time. It's like the
That
last 15 minutes of the film.
wrecked me. That wrecked me. The first time I watched it, surface pressure got to me because
Yeah.
I am the oldest child.
Mm.
I live with so many of my family members.
Yeah.
When I was younger, my house was my mom, dad, brother, sister, me. So 5 of us. Upstairs, grandfather, aunt, cousin. Across the street in another apartment, aunt, uncle, and their 3 kids. And like, still, it's pretty like my aunt and uncle and their 3 kids moved like 15-minute drive away. But like, we are very, very close family.
This is your movie.
Yeah, so I was watching it and I was like, this really hit me hard. I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm like, there's no way to not get deep when you're talking about Encanto. But like, my parents got divorced. Like, my mom put a lot of her emotional trauma on me. And I felt like I had, and like, it's not her fault. She just like was having a tough time. And I was the oldest. So she could talk to me about it. And I felt like I had to like protect my brother and sister from everything that was happening. So I'm just like, I understand this character like extensively. So surface pressure really got me. Luisa's character, I was like, damn, I did not expect to come into this movie and like see that right there. So
and see you.
Yeah, that was a lot, but good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a cathartic moment for a lot of people who feel like all of the weight of like being the emotional support system for their family.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's
and
my
yeah. That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really I've heard all of the different ways that the film resonates with people and Luisa specifically, but this seems to be the like biggest theme is that it's like children who have had to essentially lead or hold responsibility for the rest of their family members in some capacity. And yeah, that shit is real because then it also leads to anxiety and then anxiety induced depression if you don't let it out, which is pretty brutal, but so real and so much more common.
We have no idea what you're talking about. Just zero. We have zero experience with any of this.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
What about you, Lee?
Just about my experience with surface pressure,
well,
or my experience with the movie?
With the film.
Each an hour
but all
conversation.
yeah, like that'll be a long
No,
one.
we could do surface pressure was funny for me because I am not the oldest sibling, but I am the younger sibling who has always been like the one in charge, and like
same.
It's so yeah, that song had no right to go as hard as it did. Let's be real. That's fine, skipping over my anxiety and all of that. My experience with the movie is that I started to see like a bunch of TikToks. Like I remember when the trailer came out, and I also like the trailer came out, and I was like, oh, fun, a fun Disney movie about superpowers, haha, right? And then you start seeing like the TikToks coming out, and I was like, actually, I'm playing like millennial roulette, and I have my friend's Disney login right now. So I was like, we're gonna watch this bad boy tonight. In that way that
roulette.
Yeah.
So
like
accurate.
And it makes you feel really great too when it's like I do have kids, but my kids are not really old enough yet to where they're like into movies. Like they'll watch like shorter stuff still. They still haven't worked up to like a movie length thing. So there's nothing more exciting as a millennial parent than to like put your kids to bed and be like, and now we get to watch our Disney movie. It's adult time. Gonna have some wine and watch a Disney movie.
That's so
and
true.
we did. And so I finished it and I was like, holy shit. Like, I think I immediately texted Ellie and I was like, Ellie, waste no time, please. I'm like, we need to talk about this movie. A, just like the movie in a general sense. B, like, we are going to have to do an episode on this movie because everyone in it is gay. Everyone is gay. I was like, I know that we are on a streak of Disney movies right now, and like there are few characters that you're gonna run past us in the Disney canon universe that we're like, oh sure, that straight person.
Never.
But like, wow, they're also gay. It was just
Right?
I'm like we have pulled at some, like thinner strings than the like massive ropes of like evidence that we're gonna get into right now. So it was important to me. And then now my wife hates me because my TikTok is all Encanto talk all the time. And she's like, every time you open TikTok, I have to have what we don't talk about Bruno stuck in my head for the rest of the fucking week. And it's like, and sometimes I'm literally the worst, and I like, because I forget, because you hear it so many times, and I'll be like, oh my god, I have to show you this funny TikTok, and I open it, and it's like, it's a fucking we don't talk about Bruno TikTok, and she's like, why are you doing this to me?
Why
and
do
I'm
you
like,
not have any other interests?
Shit, sorry, I forgot, but they mashed it together with something new. Like,
yeah, look, it's a mashup. It's a DJ remix. Hello.
It's a mashup. And she's like, I hate you so much. And I'm like, but it's funny. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Nah, she secretly vibes with it, okay? She's secretly appreciative.
She does, but it gets stuck in her head. That's the problem. She's like, every time I hear that song, she's like, I can't get it out of my head for like 5 days, like minimum. It's crazy. So now I have to wear headphones when I'm on TikTok.
Aw, wow, what a considerate lover. I love
know.
that.
That's a problem. Listen.
Wow.
Speaking of all of the gay that you saw in this film, Lee.
Yes, I've got my notes. I've got my notes ready.
We gotta go for the guys. So, well, let's just start, Jess. Let's start with the biggest one. Louisa, let's go.
The biggest, buffest one.
Let's talk Louisa.
You know, so what I'd like to say about Louisa is that, yes, at the beginning of this, I was like, oh, yeah, she's the stereotypically gay one. And so the reasons for that are like, yeah, okay, cool. Hot, butch, muscular lesbian, for sure, that she is the illustration of that. However, I think what her personality actually, like what is mostly queer about her personality, aside from her looks, is very similar to a kind of person that I grew up with in Miami, a kind of person that honestly, I personally identified with at times. I honestly feel like I identify with more now. In high school, it's like a specific type of Latina woman or just someone who comes from an immigrant family, and because of the responsibilities and expectations that are put on them, they do not regard their sexuality or like give it any thought. And especially being a young woman, you are kind of expected to just like keep pushing through and like do your studies and don't be noticed by boys, like try your hardest not to be sexualized. So what happens when like you're not even like into boys, you don't even really care about that, but you're just trying to think about your family, do well in school, and eventually have it all lead to something, right? But you're actually kind of like interested in other things. If you were to be given the room to express your romantic interests, maybe you would start to explore, I don't know, asking a girl out, see how that feels. But I know there are a lot of women that I grew up with that were like that, who then ended up coming off as soft-spoken or hard or tough because they didn't find room or space to talk about their sexuality in that way, or it just didn't like coincide with literally anything else. So it's just yet another gorgeous female quality of putting everyone else's needs above yours. And
yes. Here's what I think is so funny, because obviously, like, I get it when you watch the movie and like Louisa first shows up and you're like, who is this giant gorgeous beefcake woman?
Yeah.
Like, we
sexy beefcake
stan, we love a herbo, like I am here for it, like give me more. But then what's funny is like as you actually see Louisa through the movie and like her character, those are like the least gay things about Louisa to me. And I'm like, man, the gayest things about Louisa to me are twofold. My two big, like, how gay is Louisa things. One, her anxiety.
Yes.
Just like
anxiety.
a queer trait.
The gayest trait.
It is a queer trait. Like, it's fine. And two, she has such a gay, like the Home Depot gay energy, right? Of like,
I'll
get
fix it.
shit done.
Yeah.
I'll fix it. I've got it. I'll get I can carry the donkeys. Don't worry. I got it. Like, that is like, and it's such a specific gay energy too, that you don't see that often. And I was like, oh my God, I love it. Like, I love it. And I love like seeing the vulnerable side of like somebody dealing with like, I can't help with all of the things that I'm used to, and like therefore nobody's gonna love me. And I'm like, we still love you even if you cannot lift the piano. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay, because sometimes you do, like, you see those gays where you're just like, I wish you knew that like it is okay if you do not build the bookcase, like somebody will still love you, you know. Like,
Yeah, that is so true.
it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, even if we just want to, like, I know we've already sort of talked about Surface Pressure, but like, let's talk about the song itself from like a queer perspective as well. Of like, just like I said, like, it's like in the beginning where I'm like, the pressures like literally crush the house, but like Luisa's entire song is about like the pressure that society and her family puts on her to like be this specific person, right? So
Very
even if like,
true.
I just think a lot of queer people resonate with Surface Pressure because of that, but because of also like the expectations that someone puts on you.
Yeah.
That like she like you said, like she doesn't even think about what her sexuality would be.
Not once does she mention it.
Because she doesn't think like that she deserves. I think she's like so like, I'm everyone else. She like doesn't even think like, oh, what do I want? So if she's not thinking like, what does she want? She's never going to be like, oh, I want to date a woman or a man or anyone. Like, she doesn't even think about that for herself. So I just like, I feel like if we had an Encanto 2, which who knows, if we get a sequel, I'd be so happy.
I keep putting it out there.
Right? Like, let's put that out in the universe.
I'm just, every time Jared Bush, one of the directors, he texts me like a screenshot of whenever the views of the Surface Pressure video on YouTube like exceeds crazy amounts, which is, yeah, it already had. But he was like, he'll like send me screenshots of the growth. And every time I respond with, ready for Luisa's spinoff, bro.
Yes.
Ready for Encanto 2,
Oh
bro.
my God. Listen, a Luisa spinoff where like one of the scenes is just Luisa getting a day off and like flexing for some like hot girls somewhere in town. That's just, we deserve this. We deserve this.
And we deserve to see her room.
Luisa deserves this.
Yes, I
Yes.
know. Okay, so random question, but what do you think is in Luisa's room?
So I was actually getting asked this question a lot when I was doing like first rounds of interviews back in like November, December. And I didn't know what to say. I was like, I'm speechless in the same way that the animators were, because they couldn't quite figure out what the right room was for her, because she is someone who is so like, her gift is super strength. So why would she have things to like lift and carry in her room if your room is where you should be going to decompress and chill? But like Isabella's gift is growing flowers. So like, of course you would have a bunch of flowers in her room, and that's great. Who wouldn't want like a bed of flowers? But like in your room,
Giant lesbian Isabella wouldn't want that, but we'll get there. We'll get there. It's fine.
Yes, that is true. But as far as levels of comfort and like getting to be yourself, I feel like Luisa wouldn't have a room full of like metal, and you know, I think she would definitely have her workout gear for sure, and like a bunch of Luna bars, lemons specifically, and I think that she would have a lot of anime posters in her room.
Nice.
And pink fluffy rugs.
Can we also request that she have one of those like ice bath tubs, like
for your muscles, to relax your muscles?
Yes.
What movie is that, Ellie? What am I thinking of? Stick It. Like a la Stick It. That's what we need.
We need that.
I ask for purely altruistic reasons. Her muscles probably get tired. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think that she needs to have a personal masseuse in there, and someone to give her facials and I don't know, some dermabrasion situation. She just deserves to be pampered. So
So-
is this also kind of low-key my dream room? Maybe.
Yes.
But yes. So
That's
I
allowed.
think that would be a room.
I love it. Do we want to talk more about Louisa, or do we want to move on to Isabella because we were talking about that?
Well, listen.
There's so
I
much.
just- I
there's
feel
so
like it's
many
a good-
characters to talk about. So
I feel like it's a good segue to move to Isabella because you cannot convince me that that is the room that Isabella wants. It's demonstrably not. It's like canonically not the room that she wants.
Oh yeah, I think I saw somewhere someone said that Isabella was like a closeted heavy metal punk rock queer. And I was like,
Yes.
oh, snap. Also because her song is very much like Pat Benatar vibes, in my opinion. And I think she's definitely like trying to have some like pink and black in her room. Like true emo 2006, like My Chemical Romance, Panic at the Disco, maybe or what was it? Something Corporate. I don't know if you guys know, or Jack's Mannequin. I don't know if you guys know any of those. I'm just trying to show off all of the bands I know from that time, emo bands.
You've succeeded.
But oh my God, I love them all. But that shit raised me. And I think that Isabella is very much a product of that culture deep down. I think that in middle school, she did waterline eyeliner and let it get all over her cheeks. I think that her hair is straight because it's now permanently this way from how much she straightened it in middle school. And I think that, yeah, I mean, come on.
I
so
would
queer.
die to see middle school Isabella.
Okay. And you know what else I think? I think that her mustache is bleached and she doesn't wax it. I think she bleaches it because, like me, she likes to have the option of feeling it there, but maybe not everyone sees it.
You've really thought about this, and I appreciate that.
She really is. Like, and of course she wouldn't say, and also she doesn't end up with the dude. She's trying her hardest to not end up with this super dummy guy.
I'm sorry. Do you mean the dude who her first reaction when he pops down on one knee to propose is to punch him in the face with a plant? That dude?
Yes.
That guy?
Punch him
Please.
in the face.
I mean,
just a normal hetero reaction to your like, you know, crush proposing.
Out of all of them, she's like the most forced into heteronormativity. Like from the second she's like gets her gift, people are like, she's perfect, she's beautiful, she's like everything that a feminine woman should be. And that's like, and then clearly you see like she has an entire song where she's like, this is not who I want to be at all. Like that song is a coming out song if I've ever seen one.
Literally.
And it's a coming out song that they sing after her first big revelation of like who she truly is on the inside is to make a goddamn succulent.
Gay.
Like, come on. That's gay. That's queer culture.
Gay.
I don't make the rules. Like, that shit's gay. She's like, it doesn't all have to be flowers. Like, what?
And then she's spitting out rainbow dust out of her fingers. Like,
Yes.
gay.
Yes.
Succulents and rainbow dust. Gay.
Well, and okay, listen, because you know we're not going to talk about Encanto without pulling out some lyrics.
Yeah.
and
Pull
there,
out some
right?
lyrics because this.
So-
yeah.
Oh my God, please.
Can we pull out a little bit of lyrics? I just want to highlight one line. What can you do when you know who you want to be isn't perfect?
Be gay.
What can you do when you know who you want to be? Oh my God, I didn't realize that.
That's a line that to me as a queer person just stands out a little bit, you know? Like just jumps out a little bit as like somebody realizing, hey, I have been pushed into this heteronormative role by my family's expectations my entire life, and it like just suddenly occurred to me for the first time, maybe that's not who I want to be. And like, listen, we just do this with Disney movies so often, but like that's a gay story. Like that's a queer story. That's a gay awakening. That's what's happening right now.
Like it's not even that layered. It's like
no,
just
it's
kind
like
of
really obvious.
No, and especially when they make it like so much about not marrying the dude, you know? And I'm like, how do you think that's gonna read to us? Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, it reads gay. It reads gay. Like
reads gay. Yes, it really
it
does.
reads gay. And that's because I mean, listen, I do spend a lot of time on Encanto talk. It's a problem. It's fine. But like one of my
I'm sorry
favorite
that you're
things-
probably seeing my face way too much.
Not ever enough. One of the things that I do love is like when people break down Isabella's part in We Don't Talk About Bruno, right? Because she like descends from the sky on her little like Moulin Rouge
my favorite
sateen
yes.
like the swing coming down from the ceiling, like
Gay!
descends down from the sky.
She's so dramatic too. Like
She's so dramatic and like listen, maybe it's just because like I feel like that Moulin Rouge is like intrinsically entwined with like my like gay coming of age time. So I'm like to me it just like immediately feels gayer that I'm like, oh, Satine, okay. Fine. But so she descends from the sky and she's singing this whole like that whole section of the song, right? Of like, he told me that the life of my dreams like would be mine, and how everybody is singing about like all of the reasons that they are upset at Bruno or like how Bruno has ruined their lives and all this stuff, and hers sounds on the surface on the surface.
I know every time it'll never be the same.
Never.
Sounds on the surface like it's very like, oh, he told me everything was going to be amazing about my life, but instead it's like this little Gaby inside of her like so desperately trying to be like, wow, he told me my life was going to be perfect, and instead I'm here, like, and it's not, right? Like, basically she's like saying like, he lied to me, like my life isn't perfect, this isn't what I want, but like that's what he told me I was gonna have. And you're just like, oh honey,
yeah,
I just want to give you a hug and be like, it gets better. Like,
yes.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp, and as we head into Thanksgiving time, I want to start by thanking my wife Kelsey, who has not only listened to just about every episode of this podcast for 8 seasons now, but who also is the only reason I'm able to make time to record it every week. She takes the kids, gets them dinner, and gets them ready for bed, just so that Ellie and I can come on and yell about gay things into each other's faces for an hour. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people you're grateful for in your life, including yourself. I've been in therapy for a long time now, and one thing that's so important about therapy is how it teaches you to be more intentional. And being intentional about gratitude and how to show that to the people you appreciate is just one of the many benefits that I've gotten from therapy over the years. If you've been thinking of starting therapy, consider giving BetterHelp a try. I know how hard it can be to find time for regular therapy, and BetterHelp is designed to be flexible and convenient for your schedule. You can fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. If you want to start being more intentional about gratitude in your life, visit betterhelp.com/letshangout today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/letshangout.
Let's hang out.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm. For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, so that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
That's so
hard.
true. I didn't even think about that.
And also you have like Mirabelle who like finally is like telling her sister like it's okay to be gay. I also feel like I've said this in other episodes before, but like when you come like there's like this person you are before you came out that's like still you, but is just like a little
Mhm.
fake because you haven't like really figured out who you actually are. And
Yeah,
then
like
you
me 2 years ago. Jesus.
It's okay, Jess.
We've all
guys.
been there.
You're here
It's
now.
fine.
Thank you.
But it is like it's like yeah, like
It's true.
still you, but there's just something that's like a little and you're also like at least for me, not necessarily I wasn't meaner to people, but like some people like, you know, were like not as nice to other people because they're dealing with their own shit or just like you do things that are not great. So I feel like
Yes.
there's this moment where like Mirabelle's realizing like the Isabella that I actually like don't like isn't really her. And then she's like, "Oh,
Mhm.
you just came out to me." And now I'm like, "Oh my god, I like my sister." Right?
Yeah.
Like it's
Wait,
like
Yes.
do you mean Ellie that like sometimes you just look at your like clearly super gay baby sister and you like are repressing some things yourself and it like makes you maybe like be a little bit more of a bitch to them until like you come out too and
Yep.
then all of a sudden
And you're like,
you like realize how much you
"Oh."
have in common. Is that
Yeah.
kind of what you're
That's
saying? Like just something like that.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Sure.
Yo, this is so real.
Well, and then freaking Abuela sees Isabella and she's like, "Why did you make her gay, Mirabelle?"
Why'd you make her gay?
Like that's literally what she said. She's like, "Why did you turn her into this?"
yes.
Listen.
And
It's so true.
It's so bad. I mean, I feel
That is so true.
I feel so horrible for Isabella in that moment because she's like finally happy, and then her abuela's like, "Why did you do this? Like you were perfect when you were not being yourself."
Mhm. And that is something that is actually very common, unfortunately, with a lot of abuelas too, specifically. And I mean, it's funny. I feel like my abuela, who I was very close to, unfortunately passed away last year, but she lived to be 99. So
Amazing.
crazy. We got good genes. But like if she I think about it all the time. Like, I wish that she would have lived long enough to see this film and finally see all, like, she was always asking, like, why are you in New York? Why don't you come home to Miami and live with us and be a doctor? Like, why? And I would tell her, I'm becoming a doctor of acting, abuela. And also, this is all in Spanish, so it sounds more romantic. And I was like, you know, I wish that I could show her, you know, finally the big thing that I make it to is something that like is actually like her and about her. And I think about if she could see me now and see me without my hair down to my ass, freaking fallen in love with the shorty, what would she say? And but at the same time, and maybe this is because I spoke to a clairvoyant in December and he said that she was proud of me, but I feel like she would just be happy that I am free. I'm just like free now. And but it is a fear that a lot of, especially children of immigrant parents, have to think about too. It's like, you can't talk about that. Like, okay, well, oh, your sexuality? Well, now we got to get into that drama. It took us too much to get over here. I don't want to get into this. Like, it's too much information. And I think about that too with Abuela Alma. It's like when these little spurts of, wait, you're letting her know it's okay to be gay too. Like, I can't have this many gay children under one roof. Luisa's already gay, but I'm letting her be gay because she's the only one who can lift shit. Like, I can't handle this. It's too much. And like my abuela, maybe she would eventually lock herself in the bathroom and threaten to burn the whole house down if it had built up to that point. But instead, the house just crumbled and then everyone almost died. And then they had to go to a river and sing a song and cry. But
okay,
in real life.
Can we can we use that as a segue maybe? Because
what we don't talk about? Is that what you're going to say, Lee?
No, I mean, listen, like we could go there too. I was going to use it to segue into Mirabelle because I feel like I think what we're touching on, there's a lot of things we're going to talk about with Mirabelle. One of the biggest notes that I have about like why Mirabelle reads as so queer to me. I mean, look, again, besides the fact that you're just like, wow, a whole story about somebody who just feels like intrinsically different from everyone in their family, who just doesn't belong in a way that like makes her elders like kind of come down a little too harshly and like just can't seem to find a way out of that spot no matter what, you know, and who just sort of like had that moment of like, oh, I came of age, disappointed my grandmother, and like now I can't ever redeem myself. Like nothing about that's gonna feel relatable to queer people, like for sure, right? Like again, stop writing gay stories, Disney. If you don't want us
but also
to do this.
Don't stop writing them because
don't stop writing them. We love it. But like, so I mean, besides all of the like, she's so gay, and this is a gay story. The thing that honestly to me, and it's because it's the first time I watched it, this was like it was the other moment in a song that just like, is I think just guts any queer person watching this movie. And it's in Waiting on a Miracle. Like, Waiting on a Miracle is such a fucking heavy song. Like, again, like, does not need to go so hard in a way that is just going to, like,
emotional
damage, to queer people. And specifically, like, again, you know, I'm going to read some lyrics at you. But this part of the song, when she sings, I would move the mountains, make new trees and flowers grow. Someone please just let me know, where do I go? I'm waiting on a miracle. And I'm just like, ugh! Like, listen, you tell me, like, what queer person, especially any queer person who has grown up in any sort of, like, religious household, like, who has not had that moment of just being like, where is the miracle to make me different? When am I going to be right? When am I going to be what they're looking for, what they want from me? Like, it's just, like, fuck.
Waiting on a miracle.
Waiting
Like,
on a miracle. And I'm
what
just like,
is going to tie all of this
listen,
together?
I get it. I get this. I get it in the context of like the story this movie is trying to tell with its whole heart. I get it. But like, it's also not just telling that story. It is telling a story that like resonates so deeply. And it's just like every time I watch that song, like when I watched it again this week, that's still the part that just like, it's just like it
Me
gets
too.
you know, like
Yeah.
it's real. That's like a real thing that I think is so relatable. It's so relatable, and it's so relatable like because that is a real thing that like people are still going through now. People are still dealing with. People still have those moments. Like
Yeah,
there
never
are still
ends.
kids
Mhm.
praying every night for God to turn them straight, and you're like, oh, my babies, I just want to like gather you up and like tell you that it's okay. But
Yeah.
it's just like that's the moment to me where I'm just like, listen, I get it. You can read like Mirabella's like just quirky and like denial. Like I get it, but like that moment, I'm like, I can't get past it. I just
Yeah.
can't.
I mean, I think that there's a lot of Mirabelle's begging for a miracle right now, especially in Florida. Not to make it dark, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a lot of like, damn, what? I didn't know. Just as I was deciding maybe I wouldn't fear for my life. What is wrong? Like, and she literally is like, there, it's just like a version of like, what is wrong with me? I'm waiting for something to happen. And I think every queer person experiences that in some capacity, whether it's in your youth or even like if you're like me and truly coming into your queer identity in your adulthood. But yeah, I feel very lucky because my family is just extremely supportive. I mean, they raised a goddamn actor, like who's very eccentric, so they had to be supportive. It's like it's almost like they're like, okay, well, if you being gay is the worst thing that comes out of this, okay, so be it. So but I feel like it's
But even then, right? Like even then, just that, like, I'm like, now all I can hear in my head is just that repeated, like, open your eyes, like, moment of the song, where you're just like, oh, sweetie, like,
all I need is a change. All I need is a chance.
Yeah, like, and it's just that, like, just see me. Like, just see me. Like, here I am, And you're just like,
yes,
I'm okay.
That's so true.
I'm okay.
And she really is the only person who can access like this empathy and compassion in a way that no one else in the family can. She sees all of them for them, but they cannot just see her for her. That's so true.
Oh, I wanted to talk about, because like obviously Abuela like is very hard on her, but I also want to talk about like Mirabelle's parents, because I also do feel like they know she's gay.
Oh God, yes.
Like because
they do.
because I feel like there's like this scene between her and her mom in the kitchen
where
she's
they
like,
knew, you might say.
Yeah, she's like, I wish you could see yourself how I see you.
The way I see you, yes.
Like, and I'm just like,
my favorite line.
It's so sweet, and I just feel like the reason that like Mirabelle can be a bit more, like, I see her more like open with her queerness even in the film. Like, even though like, I mean, obviously she never says it, but like when I view it, I see her as feeling a little bit more like at home with like some of the qualities she has inside of her.
Yeah, because it's all she has. Yeah.
That like it's because like her parents have at least like the generation right above her has always been very supportive of her.
Yes. And I think because she is the youngest too, that it's almost like, okay, and she didn't get a gift. So you know what? But we love her so much and we see the beauty and value in her. So she deserves to be exactly who she feels she authentically is. So yeah, I think you're right about that.
So yeah,
Plus, they had their gay brother to help break them into this whole concept.
Well, yeah. Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about Bruno? Let's talk about Bruno.
Well, okay, wait.
Bruno,
I need to say
queerest. I think he's the queerest.
I need to say one last thing about Mirabelle too, because I'm sorry, Disney, but listen, if you want to write a character like Mirabelle with this like super gay coming out storyline, and then you want to write Waiting on a Miracle and like all these songs and all this stuff, and like not have us read gay stuff into it, like maybe don't cast Steph Beatrice, like just a thought.
We have
I mean, I was gonna mention our Lord and Savior, Miss Bicon of the universe.
Yes.
I mean, please, like what do you expect from us? We are only human, okay? We are only little gay humans doing our best to lead our little gay lives.
It's hard not to get into that.
Yes,
also,
it's
like,
so true. God, I love Stephanie.
Wait, am I wrong about this? Isn't like Mirabelle one of the first Disney characters, like protagonist to have glasses or something? Is that the thing? Yeah.
Yes.
I also feel like those glasses, like you would see those in a gay bar. Like they're so
Those are gay.
They're so cute and
those
like,
are gay glasses.
The Harry Potter gays.
Yeah, they're like in a little hipster coffee shop. Just,
personally,
like,
my
their
favorite
coffee,
kind.
Yeah, and like wearing those circle glasses. Like,
dude, any shorty that looks like Harry Potter, it's a wrap for me. Let's just the encompassing childhood nostalgia with the like sorcery and manliness, but also gracefulness of Daniel Radcliffe / imaginary character. And
listen, Ellie and I did a mean Harry Potter costume duo for Halloween one year. I'm just saying, I just want to build up the reasons we should be best friends. That's all.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure it's out there. Okay?
Lee was Harry.
I do actually do a mean.
You would be a perfect Harry.
I'll get my glasses out real quick. Hold on.
Oh my god. Really quick.
I'll be waiting.
Everyone, calm down.
Keep it together.
I just want to say about Daniel Radcliffe, as you say, Grace. I saw him on Broadway in How to Succeed in Business.
Don't tell me it wasn't graceful.
No, that man can dance. His feet, he was just like flitting around. He was good. He was like really light on his feet. So he is great.
Listen,
he is beauty. He is grace. That's all I'm going to say.
If 14-year-old me could ever, like, I would never have predicted that, like, not like I do not love Emma Watson, like, but if you had told 14-year-old me that, like, my favorite actor from the Harry Potter series down the road was going to be Daniel Radcliffe, like, I would not have believed you. That's all.
And yet,
I had an awful lot of Hermione on my walls for me to love Daniel Radcliffe as much as I do these days. That's
yes. And that he would end up being a musical theater gay.
He's delightful.
Come on.
Really kills it. All right, but let's dive in. We got to talk about Bruno, the queerest of them all.
We have to talk about him.
So what do you think, Jess? You said Bruno's the queerest. Why?
Well, first of all, like, this dude looks like a freaking turf, okay? Just gonna say, like, look at his hair, like, and just the fact that he's like, I mean, he is estranged from his family. He literally lives by himself, talks to animals, has pet rats, gay, pet rats, is an actor. So he's immersed in the arts and has multiple personalities, gay, and is also just like has the coolest power out of everyone else. And I'm not gonna lie,
he's a spooky occult gay. Come on, he's like, I see the future. I'll read your tarot. Like
we'll read your tarot. Yes, and that's me. They don't call me Jessica Darrow for nothing. Okay, I am that gay. Nah, I just said that right now.
Yeah, it's like, I did not know they called you that, but
do you have shirts? Do you make shirts with that?
Convincing.
You need shirts.
I've been thinking about merch, guys. Maybe that'll be it. But
start with that.
I love a good tarot read, okay? I give them shits to myself at the beginning of every month. Go on to Biddy Tarot, and so does Bruno, okay? And I know that for sure. With the rats on his damn shoulder, like, is just gay. And like, the way that he has compassion for everyone else and respects everyone else and doesn't put his shit before anyone else, but is still like the most dramatic and magical one out of all of them. Also, I just feel like the fact that his gift is the one that is like shunned and the one that is like looked down upon, but is like yet the most powerful and insightful is symbolism for queerness.
Well, I feel like too, it's like they literally are like, we want to ignore your visions. It's the same way that like somebody like if somebody in your family comes to you and is like, hey, I'm queer, and you're like, I don't want to hear that. No, you never said that to me. Like, you can tell me that all you want, but we're not like literally the whole song, We Don't Talk About Bruno, is like that whole thing of like families where like everyone knows that
but
this
they
person's
don't want to
gay,
talk about it.
but
Yes.
we're not talking about it. And that is very,
Yes.
very common. Like very
It's-
common.
I feel like it is so like okay, look, everyone loves when we do a visual gag on a podcast, right?
I'm waiting for
I don't know.
this.
Did you watch One Day at a Time? Did you watch the new like One Day at a Time that they made, Jess?
Wait, is that the Cuban one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you watch that?
Yes.
And so they get into like some of the later seasons and they get into the later seasons with Steph Beatriz playing her cousin, right? Who's also
I
gay.
didn't see those. Oh my God, Stephanie's in it. Okay, explain.
Any of our listeners who have seen One Day at a Time, you know exactly what I'm about to do. But this is what they do, like, anytime it comes up where they're like, oh, like, you know, the whole idea of like, oh, we don't talk about the fact that like she's gay is like anytime anything gets even close to that topic, every single person in the family just goes, right? Like, hands up, just being like, don't talk about that. And I'm like, yes, that is like, that's the culture, man. Like, that's it. That's
yes.
the, like, not
and
getting
if that
into that
ain't some Cuban shit, just Latino shit,
that,
they're like,
that is, we don't
that.
talk about Bruno.
Yes.
Like, the whole town fucking knows, man. Like, we don't talk about Bruno. Like,
wow. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I can't wait to go watch it.
You tell me, what is more in the closet than living in the
living in the closet.
walls of your
walls?
Like, that's like closet plus, right? Like, that's deep in there. That is
hiding
like,
in the walls
when
for
you
years.
Yeah, when you hit the back of your closet and you start digging a hole, like, that's deep in the closet, dude.
That
like
is
that.
deep in literal closet. Also, he is literally the weird gay uncle.
Yes, we love a gunkle.
We love gunkles. He is the gunkle. He's a gunkle.
He is a gunkle. Well, and that's why I love him and Mirabelle, too, because it's like when she finally finds him, like, there is something just like, you can tell there's that moment for her when he's like, you know, she sees his little name scratched on the bowl on the table.
That
and
makes
he's
me
like,
cry.
and he's like, but I love my family, you know? And she's like, oh, yes, as someone who also, like, has a fraught, tense relationship, but like would do anything for this family that refuses to like look at me and see me, and they're like, you can just see them relating, and she's like, you left to protect me, and he's like, yes, I, the uncle, left to protect you, the tiny little gay one, like, and you're just like, oh, you too. I love it. I love it.
Well, and even towards the end, he comes back, like he comes out of hiding because he thinks he needs to save Mirabelle. Right? Yes. Even though it's like, all right, everything's already done. But he like comes running out. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna save my little gay bee niece. I also like to say, I was reading, you know, there is so much like freaking fan theory and like all kinds of shit about Encanto.
There is.
But one of them said that Julieta knew he was there the whole time and like had been feeding him. Right? And if that is the case, I feel like that tracks because, like I said before, like she supports Mirabelle. She knows she's gay. Like I feel like she's like, he came to her and was like, I'm gay. I got to go hide in the walls. And she was like, I love you. I'll take care of you in the walls. Like that tracks.
Yes.
Sorry, I just had the worst idea that like will also make Ellie cry. It's fine. Somebody write me like listen, this is like not the kind of fan fiction we usually ask for.
Oh my God.
someone write me like a super sweet, like heart-wrenching fan fiction, like of them as kids. Like I want like little teenage Bruno and Julieta where he's like, you know, like begging her to like make him straight with her food, and she's like, my food can't fix you being gay because you're not broken, and like right.
Stop it.
I can't take it. I can't.
I'm
take
sorry,
it.
everyone. I'm sorry, but like, come on.
So painful.
Ellie, I'm sorry.
So good.
She's wiping her tears.
Why did
We're
you
literally
do that?
crying. Why did you do that? It's not gonna fix you because you're not broken.
Okay, but
That
it would
is
be
so
but it would be amazing, right? Like, wouldn't it be incredible?
Yeah.
It'd be incredible.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Wait, do you guys just like request fan fiction?
Yeah,
on
I
here
don't
and
feel like people
submit?
I mean,
people usually
listen.
don't give it to us. We
Is
just
it-
throw it
please
into the
just seem
universe.
like-
Throw it into
just
the
throw it
universe.
out there.
I'm just gonna cast a little, see what comes in.
She's like, someone write for me.
Someone write me this. That's what I want. People do send us like existing
they'll be like,
fan
"Oh,
fiction
here's this thing that already
happens.
exists,"
But
yeah.
usually it's more like, wow, like, you know, we'll do a movie and we're like, wow, what a super hot couple that we're shipping. Like, please send me the fan fiction. This is a little
Yeah,
different.
It's a little different.
That's
It's a little
awesome.
different
More
vibe that I'm
wholesome.
going for right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But it would be touching and adorable. Make us the short, Disney. That's all I'm saying.
They won't, but I like that.
They never
Yeah.
will.
They
but
won't, but
Yeah.
it would be incredible. That's all.
yeah.
I also just feel like with all of these characters, it is like I just love the evolution in the film in general. Because like by the end, I feel like Abuela like had kicked him out for being gay, right?
Mhm.
And then
For sure.
then when he comes back, she's like, I don't give a fuck you're gay, like I just love you. Right? So we
Mhm.
have like little baby Mirabelle who's like teaching Abuela like, why did I kick my gay son out? Like I have another beautiful gay granddaughter. Like I gotta like make amends for all of my previous homophobia. You know?
Exactly.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I just
Yes.
feel like they give it to us in a nice little like
Silver platter.
yeah, this just like wrapped up in like okay, yes, we see like the negatives of it, but we also see like the positive of like you can change, you can fix things, you can like heal these wounds in your family, which is why
Yes.
like I bawl my eyes out at that freaking river scene.
Yeah, every time. And
Every
it's
time.
it's always going to hold more meaning every time that you watch it.
Yep.
You're going to find something new
Yep.
and it's going to get queerer.
Yep.
It's inevitable.
It does.
Yeah.
I swear it was gayer to me, like watching it every time. It's
I'm
just,
telling you.
Yep.
it's more and more gay.
Do we have any other character? There's so many characters. Do you have any other characters you want
Yes.
to talk about? who should've been
Listen,
gay?
there is one other major gay we haven't talked
All right.
about yet. It's Camilo. I'm sorry. There is never a shapeshifter who is not inherently queer.
Mm.
Okay.
That's not possible. Here's a dude who is just like, I spend half my time as women.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
gay.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
gay. Like, there's shapeshifting by default. Gay.
So you think
it's just
that
a queer
Camilo's
storyline.
trans, non-binary, or like
Yes.
just
Gender
gender fluid?
Gender fluid.
by
Yeah.
definition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definition.
Yeah.
Like,
And
yes.
but also I think that Camilo also masks as someone who would probably like make fun of
Oh, yes.
someone for being queer and has that like fake homophobia to mask their own
Yeah.
homo shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that, like, I know
I
those
think
dudes.
that's the medical term.
That's
for
the
it.
medical term. Sorry, I've been talking all day, you guys. But this is the best conversation I've had all day.
Yes.
They
But-
haven't all been this shocking.
Yeah, right?
Just-
But we all grew up with that kid who is now like gay as shit and was making everyone feel like shit if they even
Oh, yeah.
like
But
remotely
listen,
think-
Camila's still young. Like,
Yes, yes, of
and
course.
he's still young, but he's old enough to have watched how his family has, like, you know, what Isabella has been pushed into. He's watched how they've treated Mirabelle. Like, he'll grow out of it, you
Mhm.
know, because I'm sorry, but like, there's no way that you spend that much time just being like, yes, I am a woman. Hand me your child, please. Like,
Okay.
I mean, come on.
he was probably breastfeeding a baby too. He was
Right,
like, I gotta see what it's like.
come on, dude. That's not a guy who's gonna be able to like lock away his
No.
his card to
medical
the
term,
queer
homo
community
shit.
is in the mail on its
Yes.
way to him. He just hasn't opened that letter yet. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
I also thought you were going to say about Camilo also that like he's like such a jokester and has a flair for the dramatic too. So I feel like it's like that kind of thing where like he would totally like throw his own one man woman NB like drag show.
Yes.
Oh my
Right?
god, yes.
Where like he plays all the characters and he's like dancing and singing and like putting on a show.
Oh
Yeah.
yes. I totally agree.
I can see it. There's just like there's so much in this. There's so much. I mean, we could talk about other characters. That was the last one we had on our actual like outline. Jess, are there any other characters in Encanto that you feel like we need to talk about before I feel we're not going to do any ships because there's no
Well, yeah, it's hard when they're all related.
Yeah, we're not
man.
shipping anyone who's related with each other. We're not doing this.
Wait, sorry. I have one ship. If you have no other characters, I have one ship I will nominate.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, my ship goes to the shout out to that like one like super quick queer baity scene in the Family Madrigal when she's like, two men fell in love with the Family Madrigal and like Augustine and Felix come up and they're like dancing next to each other and then she's like, they married women. And I was like, every person had that one quick moment like before, you know, like the first time you watch the movie, like before you got all the relationships where you're like, two men fell in love. So I ship Felix and Augustine. That's it.
That's fine.
That's my only
because
ship.
they're not related to each other, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I didn't even think about that.
Watch the scene because I wrote that down
Watch
too.
that scene.
Because it literally just goes like, two men fell in love with the family. Like it's like literally like like stops.
And
Wait, they say
come
that? That's a lyric?
Yes. That's the lyric.
Because
I don't even know the lyric in my own damn movie.
The full
What are
lyric
you
is
saying?
two men fell in love with the Family Madrigal, and it's about the husbands. But like, but it stops like right after two men fell in love for just long enough that you like it's the first time you've ever met them. So you think they're introducing a gay couple.
It's
like,
it's
wait,
the
what?
line that comes right before the like the da 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 right like right before that. There's this line: two guys fell in love with Family Madrigal, and now they're part of the Family Madrigal.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. So
Oh my
validly, because I
God.
did write that down as well. I was like,
It's my only ship I can convincingly get behind in
and
this movie.
I will
Otherwise, I got
say,
nothing.
whenever we get a sequel, they need to give Luisa a love interest.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
That's all.
I would like that because I really want her to pick up someone on the magical unicorn donkey. I really want that to be a scene
And I
where
want
she's just like, my trusty steed.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I want her love
something like
interest
that.
to also be like so they're so fun that like Luisa has to be like, oh, I can have fun, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's like I see it.
Yes,
so
she
clearly.
has to give in. I see that too. And yeah, I don't think that there would be anyone else that I would ship because the beauty of this film is that we can actually name how everyone is queer without talking about how they're sexually attracted to anyone.
Yes.
Like
Exactly.
it's just like their
Yes, it has
personality.
nothing to do with it. It is
Literally
just
has
gay
nothing to do with it.
vibes.
Yeah.
Man, gay vibes. But okay, look, sorry. I will put a better fan fiction / short / whatever request out into the universe, which is give me Luisa finding the girl of her dreams and then building her a fucking house and just like carrying like armfuls of stones and just being like, I'm building you the house of our dreams and like
So
just making
sweet.
this fucking house for her. Like, come on, right?
Yeah,
So
that
cute.
would be good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But we
would
can
be
all
incredible.
agree that
I'm down
Encanto-
for it. I'll voice whatever.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Yes, Ellie, we agree. Encanto
Should have been gay.
should have been gay.
Should have
Should
been
have been
gay.
gay.
It's time for
Wow.
our Q and gay. Are you ready?
Q and gay.
What's the highest amount of family members you've ever lived with? A, 2, B, 5, C, 12, or D, 20?
Yeah, it's B5.
Nice.
Wait. Okay.
Okay,
I
they're
can't
low
get it
stakes.
wrong. It's
No.
about my
okay.
life.
It's easy.
There's low stakes. We're not grading you. It's okay.
Sometimes I will say, though it was 5, it felt like 20. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. Question 2. This one is still low stakes. There's no wrong answer, okay?
That might be a little harder.
What is the gayest song in Encanto? Out of A, We Don't Talk About Bruno, B, Surface Pressure, C, What Else Can I Do, or D, Waiting on a Miracle?
I would have to say, what else can I do?
It's so true. It's
See.
so true.
It's a very big
See.
coming. The rainbow, I think, makes it.
It's literally her being like, oh, look, I'm gay. What other cool shit is going to come out of me now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's how it always feels when you are cool with being gay.
Exactly.
Like,
You're like
that's-
one thing and you're like, oh my God, what else can I do?
Exactly.
Yes.
Literally, it is that feeling.
Yes.
So
So
I would have
true.
to say that.
All right, question number 3. Which magical gift would you want the most? A, super strength, B, flower power, C, shape shifting, or D, visions?
C, shape shifting for sure. Yeah.
It's so multi-purpose.
It's multi-purpose. I get to fuck with people, and also like I get to demand respect. And if you don't want to give it to me, then I'm gonna trick you into it.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Think of the pranks you can pull. Okay, question 4, also kind of an
Difficult.
attack. What is your favorite Lin-Manuel Miranda show or movie out of In the Heights, Hamilton, Moana, or Encanto?
It's In the Heights. Yeah,
Great
that was
choice.
It's a
first
good
and
answer.
foremost. Yeah, because that's what started it all. That was the musical that I saw when I met him afterwards. Like that's like number 1.
You saw it on
And
Broadway. You saw it on Broadway?
I actually saw it in Miami at a regional theater, and he happened to come to that production because I guess,
no way.
yeah, he wanted to see how it would do. I feel like he was probably, going to like different Latino communities, and here in Miami, he knew it was obviously a predominant one. And he was just chilling in the lobby, and this was like 2011. So
Wow.
he was not as big. This was before Hammy. So no one like knew who he was except for my crazy ass. So I'm in the lobby with my best friend, and I hear his distinct ass voice, and I'm like, oh my God, whoa, wait a second. Is this man behind me? I'm looking at my best friend. She's like, dude, he's literally like right there. And then I start to get red. I'm freaking out, and I turn around, and this man is just being Lynn, and he's just standing over me. I've said this story so many times, and I have the photo. I'll send it to you guys. It's definitely out there on the
Yes,
internet
That's
somewhere.
amazing.
But it is me approaching him, being like, "Oh my God, hi!" And he's telling me in Spanish. He's like, "No llora, don't cry." And I'm like, "What are you talking? I'm gonna right here." And it's just me sobbing, holding onto his shoulder, and he's like, It's
That's
great.
amazing. I have a meeting Lynn story too. I was his waitress because I actually did not live in the Heights. I lived in Inwood, which is like above the Heights.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he lived in Inwood, technically. But whatever. He lived very close to where I was. And he came to the restaurant that I worked at. And I was his waitress. And this was same thing. He had only done In the Heights. I was obsessed with In the Heights. I think it's better than Hamilton. It's better than Hamilton. Like it is.
I think it is too. I'll say that.
Is.
They are very different, but it is better because it like every song is different.
Yes.
And you know what? I would also say it is a lot like Encanto because it is very character driven.
Yes.
It is all the different characters. Everyone gets their soliloquy. Everyone gets their monologue moment where they share with the audience what's really going on inside.
Yes.
And that's what makes it so interesting and compelling to watch is because it's character driven. It's like, ugh.
But I loved it. So I saw him and I was literally his waitress and I was being cool as I'm like serving him. But then at the end I was like, I just had to get a picture with you.
Yes.
Like,
and thank God you did. Thank God you did. Okay, but wait, can you tell me what he ate?
No, oh my God, I could not remember that to save my life. No. But I do still have the picture.
I was hoping it was going to be something juicy, like all fried food, like mozzarella sticks or some shit.
Well, it was like an
like,
Italian restaurant. It was like a nice-ish Italian restaurant.
Mozzarella
so
sticks.
He could have
What's
had
not nice
mozzarella
about
sticks.
mozzarella sticks?
He could have had mozzarella sticks. But
chicken fingers.
Yeah, it was him and his wife.
Wow.
And
Yep, the OG Vanessa.
Yeah,
the one and only.
the Vanessa.
Wow,
it was crazy.
that-
But yeah,
that's
it was like I love it nights. Oh my god.
Yeah, well, some of us haven't met Lin-Manuel Miranda, so like it's fine. It's cool.
Lee, one day you will have your Lin moment.
One day, it's bound to happen.
I'll make my lesbian Manuel Miranda shirt and I'll wear it around in the hopes of running into him. You know?
You will have a moment.
seriously.
I promise you will.
Just come
Listen,
hang out at the Jamba
you
Bookshop.
make your
Yeah.
Jessica Darrow shirt, and and I'm gonna make my lesbian Manuel Miranda shirt, and we'll just
Oh my god!
wear them around town together. Okay?
You know what other Lin-Manuel Miranda joke I have is my rapper name is going to be Lil Manuel.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I love
sexy,
it.
right?
Wait,
Thanks,
we
guys.
have one more question because I just
Oh my
derailed
God,
us,
okay,
but
okay.
We're so sidetracked.
I know
already.
this is
I
going to be
love
the
it.
longest and the best episode. So, question number 5: which Madrigal do you relate to the most? A. Isabella, B. Mirabel, C. Luisa, or D. Abuela?
I like that you like D Abuela. Like, why did you guys put Abuela? Like,
You
just
could.
wanted to see
Never-
like if
yeah,
I
what
would
is-
like fucking pick her.
Yeah. Well, we
Yeah,
also put it
I
on our
definitely relate
Twitter.
to-
I don't know.
That
Yeah,
is
who knows
so.
what people feel like, you know? Maybe some people are like, wow, I'm actually just like kind of a bitch who's like real hard on my family. Like, I don't know.
You're right.
We don't want to harsh
That
on
is
their
inclusive.
vibe.
To be
okay?
fair,
You're so right.
do not hate on Abuela. She's been through a lot of shit.
I love Abuela.
Oh, yeah.
Abuela's
Oh, yeah.
kind of a bitch. Come on. I can
Yes,
say that
but-
with love.
Of course, but she's a bitch for a reason.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of the movie is that you discover the context and why some of our Abuelas end up being bitches. But
It
they're not
doesn't.
actually deep
It
down.
doesn't mean
That's why
loving
I'm
Abuela
saying
does not mean
you
that you
could
don't spend the
relate.
whole movie
You
going
could
like,
still
Jesus
relate.
Christ, Abuela, what the fuck?
That's true. That's true. Well, I mean, gosh, I really like. I do relate with Luisa the most. Like, and you know, you were saying earlier that the experience of like watching Luisa's story unfold, watching Surface Pressure is a cathartic experience. It is continuously cathartic for me. It becomes more cathartic for me as time passes because I just like I look back at my old patterns that I am still trying to shed myself, things that I have, you know, my own personal turmoil is very similar to that of Luisa's. I feel like her and I have had a lot of the same things going on inside of our heads. And also, yeah, she's just super hot and brilliant on the outside, but dealing with a lot of shit on the inside. And
Just a
Can't-
relatable,
can't relate
just
more.
a
So
relatable
relatable.
character.
So
Yeah,
relatable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
I can't relate more.
amazing.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jess. This was such a good episode.
I'm
It
so,
was nice.
sad it's over. I want this to be a sleepover. What the hell, you guys? And then we could be a freaking band and play all of our dumb gay instruments.
Yes.
I love
Oh
you
my
guys.
God.
You can't see, well, maybe you can see now. I don't know. Over here, I have a drum set.
Wow.
Can you see the drums?
We are literally just a one-woman band.
I got a whole
Oh, she
band
is.
in here.
She for sure is.
I got a whole band in here. So whenever you
Can you
want.
actually play the
We'll jam.
drums?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, there's the guitars behind you, the piano's in front.
Yep.
Come on, she's got it all.
So my girlfriend plays the bass. So that's her.
So hot.
That's her bass, and then my guitar, and then the drum. I switched.
We're gonna start a band, okay?
Yeah.
This is
The name's
so
gonna
cool.
be something to do with terror. We'll figure it out.
With terror.
Tarot,
We've got time.
And yes, and can I be Lil Manuel?
Yes.
Yes,
Lil
Manuel and the
of
Taros.
course.
Oh, you don't have to make me the front man, you guys. Come on, you guys.
I would be like, of course we will, but like honestly, Ellie might fight you for it. It's fine.
No.
Be the
I'm-
front man,
No,
Ellie,
it's okay. It's
please.
okay. I actually would like to play the drums, but still sing.
Ellie's
you know?
like, I'm already the
I love
lead
that.
singer of a wedding band. It's fine. It's fine.
Wow,
fine.
I've always wanted to be in a wedding band.
It's so
I was
fun.
in the wedding singer. I was in the
Nice.
wedding singer, and Speaking of Wedding Singer, I just want to address the crazy comments people be leaving on my TikTok saying I look like Adam Sandler. And bro, I am dead.
What?
Have
Why
you seen
would
that
they
shit?
say that?
Who? Tell us where they are. We will find them.
But it was the first time that I was like, oh, is this like a hate comment? But then I realized that I was like, wow, my depression brain is surely shifting because I actually am excited by this comment. And this is kind of hilarious. And also, I had a crush on Adam Sandler growing up. Like, I was like, oh my God, you're funny. And like, you got big fucking teeth and an egghead and cool hair. That's me.
In 50 First Dates when she paints the egg. You know
Come
what I'm
on.
saying?
50 First Dates, like literally that and The Wedding Singer. Like,
The Wedding Singer slaps. That movie is amazing.
I also like, I would love to be cast in all of the same roles that Adam Sandler has been cast in the exact, like, no changes.
Oh, nothing.
Like,
Yeah,
exactly
nothing except
as
just
they
You
were.
gotta go big on the mullet, and we'll be the judge of the
You
resemblance.
guys,
okay?
I literally had a mullet. I had a mullet until it turned into this. I don't even know what this is. Someone told me that I have the, what is it called? It's like a pixie, but it's not. There's some like Bushwick ass name for it. I don't know. But someone's like, oh, you have that haircut. I was like, yeah, me and everyone else here. There's something special about it. But I had a mullet in September, okay? And when it got even mullety-er, I was in the recording studio and like even on Zoom, the directors and writers were calling it out. They're like, wow, you're really you're going real mullety here. What? I was like,
going hard on the mullet.
Yeah, that's right.
Listen,
Going
it's
hard
a
on
power
the mullet.
move. It's a power move. That's what it is.
Exactly. When you're an animated character, you just do whatever the fuck you want, and then they just have
Give
to accept
Louisa
it.
a mullet, damn it.
Give Louisa a mullet. Chop off the ponytail.
Yes.
Put the ribbon around her neck and make it a mullet. I love
she
that.
would look pretty dope with a mullet, actually.
Right? I'm down.
Incredible. So speaking of your TikTok comments, tell our listeners where can they find you on all the social medias?
Well, it's just at Jess Darrow _. That's on everything. With the exception of Twitter is me, Jess Darrow. But honestly, y'all, Twitter is just my diary. So, I mean, if you're into that, by all means. And then you've got YouTube where I am Jess305. So if you want to look at any of my long form content, I'll also be releasing my new music video, which is very queer, very, very queer.
That's awesome.
And that's going to be on YouTube. I don't know. Hopefully in 2 weeks, we'll see if coloring gets done in time. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
That's so
I wish I had a
amazing.
Vine. I wish I had a Vine to promote, but
Bring back Vine.
yes. And y'all don't even dare try to find me on Facebook, okay? Because I don't do that anymore. So that's that.
Amazing. Thank you so much. You don't know how much we enjoyed this. So good.
Aw, thank you guys. Wait, you have to say goodbye to my cat, Giles.
Let me hear you say hip, 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 well, yeah.
We love hearing from you and building community, so we want to shout out some of our favorite things each episode. We have a lot of names to read this episode because we've had a lot of you help support Journey to the Heart on Indiegogo. So I'm going to try to go through this. Do you want to go one at a time, Lee, the same way we do our Lesbian Jesus?
You know I do. I always do.
We want to thank Majuba,
Sam,
Levi,
Durr,
F,
Jeannie,
Melanie,
Kaylee,
Kyle,
Brian,
E,
Shalini,
Emily,
Jay,
Michael,
Bruce,
Wendy,
and Jody, and everyone else who has donated since then. We're so sorry we don't have your names down. But as
We'll get
of
you next
now,
time.
when we made this list, but we'll get you next time. Either way, we just want to say a huge, huge thank you to everybody who's able to donate, and also to everybody who's just sharing it, telling people, spreading the word around. Even if you cannot donate, we totally understand. But getting the word out there makes a huge difference, and it means a lot.
As always, we want to thank our Lesbian Jesus patrons, Mark Foster,
Jess Klaus,
Tanya Ferguson,
Jacqueline Rose Nishino,
Sarah and Julia,
Danny Gunlock Tamura,
Brittany Ray,
Alana Rosen,
Lizette Stye,
Stacy,
Adi Benitez,
Fiona W.,
Whitney Lennon,
and Jennifer Trujillo,
and our King Princess patrons, Amy and Ellen,
Leah Hendley,
Liz Chen,
Julia Gonzalez,
and Ashley White. Thank you all so much for your support. We could not do the show without you.
Remember, you can find us on all the social medias. We are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok at Let's Hang Out Pod.
You can email us at letshangoutpod@gmail.com.
Or you can check out our website at letshangoutpod.com, and you can find our website for our production company at dollarbeanproductions.com.
Whatever app you use for podcasts, make sure you subscribe so you'll be the first to know when new episodes drop.
And if you haven't checked out The Flame yet, make sure you have listened to all those episodes before we release our next podcast musical.
We're also posting some videos on our YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe at youtube.com/letshangoutpod to catch them.
If you want to help support the podcast, the first way you can do that is easy and free. Go on the Apple Podcasts app, leave us a rating and a review. It helps new people find the podcast, and we like reading the reviews.
If you want to support us, you can do that on Patreon at bit.ly/lespatreon. You get all kinds of cool perks like our Patreon-only Discord chat, which we love hanging out in, Les Angels watch parties, and ad-free episodes.
And if you want to help support Dollar Bean Productions making new musicals and getting The Flame on stage, you can find our Patreon for our shows at bit.ly/theflamepatreon.
If you want to get some Let's Hang Out merch, you can do so at bit.ly/lesshop. We got all kinds of good stuff, especially as summer's coming. This is me being very optimistic in Boston, but like get some tank tops, get some short sleeve shirts. We got it all there at bit.ly/lesshop.
Plus, Pride's coming before we know it, so, start
Get
getting
those
your orders
shirts
in now. If you want to follow us individually, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LSHFoster.
And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at EllieBrigida. With that, I'm Ellie.
And I'm Lee.
And let's hang out again soon.
Let's hang out.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to speak of them or talk about them or in any way portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. It would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.